Page 44, Minuet. On this page, they're introducing you to form. In music, musical pieces have forms. They have structures. They have sections. They have pieces and parts. And if you can understand sort of how they're put together, it helps to make sense out of it, and it also helps to guide you in interpreting the music. Here, they're calling it binary form. Bi means two, and it simply means that this piece has two parts to it. That's all. Two sections, if you will. And they've labeled it Section A and Section B. Isn't that nice of them? That's not part of the music. That Section A, Section B thing, that's just something the authors put in to help you. It's up to you to figure out what the sections are. So here, the first two lines is Section A, the second two lines is Section B. Now, they're repeating everything. You see the repeat signs? If the repeat signs were not there, if it was just, you're just going to play it through one time, at the end of the second line, at the end of the first section, there would be a double bar. A double bar is an indication of a section break, where you have multiple sections, and a double bar divides the sections. It splits them. It identifies where a section ends and a new section begins. But they have repeat signs, and that, so you don't have any room for a double bar. The repeat sign's doing it. That doesn't mean a repeat sign is the end of a section every time. It's just sometimes it happens that way, where it is. A repeat sign could be most anywhere. Now, in this piece, in this minuet, we have triplets again. Look at the right hand. You're starting out here. This is in the key of G major. And again, I encourage you to go do my G major scale. Do at least the beginner part. If you already know the scale, then do the intermediate part. We're starting out third finger on G, so we're in this position more or less. Although, if you look at the second measure, we're thumbs down here. Okay. But it's one and a, two and a, three and a. One and a, two and a, three and a, one and a, two and a. Watch the fingering. So just follow their fingering, it's fine. You're just not going to stay in a nice, neat five-finger position. And I still recommend, I didn't do it, but I recommend you lift up between each phrase. I have a little problem with short phrases. I won't get into that right now. Just right now, just lift up between each phrase. So that first line again is here. One and a, two and a, three and a, one and a, two. Lift up. Lift up. Two. And then the third measure on second line, staccatos. Just light finger staccatos, fine. So if I do the last three measures of the second line, it's here. 1, 2, 3. Now, how short you make the staccato is up to you ultimately, but they don't have to be real short. I just have a habit of doing it. But they could be longer staccatos. You could just disconnect the notes. So the last three measures could be this. 2. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. In section B, that is the third line, you have a rest on beat 1. So it's rest and a 2 and a 3. Rest. 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. And the last line, watch the articulation. You're here. 1. Nice light finger staccato. Come down an octave. With the chord, you have to use the wrist. Don't try and use the finger on that. Okay. And with those last two notes, try bring out the top note. That's what we want to hear. Left hand just is supporting. You're here, and you've got tied notes. You're going to hold that down for 6 counts. You're going to play it again, hold it down forever, and then the second line has the same articulation as the right hand, but they're different notes. It's harmony. And then starting with the third line on that is section B, you're here, and you're okay until the last line. You got to come down an octave here. You got to rest in here, and then you got to come down to here, and then the last note, and that's it for the left hand. Dynamic wise, look at the beginning, it's forte, that's the right hand. That's forte, so you're going to be loud. You decide what loud is. For the whole thing, and then in the third line they're telling you loud at the beginning, and then the third measure is soft all of a sudden. The first measure of the last line I would come up a little bit, maybe to a medium loud or something, and then second measure is soft, and then finish it loud. So, add the dynamics, they really make a difference. Now, repeat signs, we're going to play each section twice, is basically what it means. I don't want to encourage you to be accurate on these things, because as the music gets more difficult, things get more involved. So, on these rests, make sure you play the rest. That is, make sure you're quiet. At the end of the first line, the last measure in the left hand, you have a quarter rest on the last beat. So when the right hand plays that last note in that line, it's by itself. So here. So that's by itself. And the third line down, the right hand has a rest. So that first note in the left hand is by itself. And then the right hand comes in. And again, third measure over, again, the left hand's by itself. So be sure. And then the last line, the left hand's got rests in here. So in the first measure, that second note in the right hand staccato, the left hand has to stay down for the full count. It doesn't come up until beat 3. It comes up when the right hand plays that G. So that G, the last note in that measure, is by itself. And that's when the left hand comes up. So it's here. 1, 2. Second measure is the same thing. 1, 2, 3. So that last note's by itself. Try and be accurate with those if you can. So let's try it slowly, just to check the notes and the rhythm. So the right hand starts here, left hand's here, okay. 1, ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, repeat. 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2.